Look, I want to apologize. It is late or early morning for most of you, um, but I was receiving such a prophetic download from the Holy Spirit and felt the urge to put this documentation together for you all to learn how to get into wholesaling for little to no money up front. Again, this is not going to be a high level, you know, executive level video where you're going to invest tens of thousands of dollars into a system. The objective here is to give you an understanding of how to get started. I do have some literature and some data that will break down the concepts of wholesaling land. This is going to be more about what you'll need to get started in the realm of land flipping. So, first and foremost, again, as I've mentioned before, this is not knowledge that we are even intended to know. The powers that be have kept this information from us for generations now. And so I encourage you to consecrate or pray over your business ventures and pray over the decisions that you're going to make in regards to implementing this strategy or similar strategies to get your business off the ground. I thank God for this opportunity to share this knowledge with you all, and I ask God to provide you with wisdom, knowledge, favor, and the necessary provisions to get this thing going. So before we get started, I think the first most important thing is I want to set the tone for this video. This video, I'm going to be all over the place, hopping in different websites. Feel free to stop, start, rewind. I'm not going to do a lot of editing here, so I apologize in advance if there's not timestamps or whatever. But nonetheless, feel free to, rewind, save, whatever, do what you got to do, but lock in here. So what we're going to be talking about, though, team, is how to get into wholesaling vacant land. Wholesaling vacant land is sort of the entry point into land development and land investing. The end goal for us families should be to eventually get into land development, new construction, things of that nature. I want to show you how to fish right now and how to get into the game without money so that you can build up your capital, build up your network, and eventually take on those larger projects. So wholesaling 101, like what is wholesaling? What wholesaling is, y'all, it's the act of negotiating a purchase agreement with a property owner for a set price and then assigning that contract, those contractual obligations to an end user, right? So a developer, a buyer, an investor would take over the right to purchase that property, and you act as the intermediary or the broker between both parties. The difference between what you contracted that property for with the seller versus what you assign that contract to the end buyer is your fee. That's called an assignment fee. That's your spread. Typically, these spreads can range from $5,000 or more, but don't get greedy. Don't overlook the small spreads. Again, those are just averages. I'm not a financial advisor by any means, but just wanted to give you an idea of what you can make. For us here on this journey, we want to strive to do 1 to 3 deals a month. So you're asking yourself, how do I take action? How do I get started? First things first, head over to Zillow.com and let's pick a market. So coming into the game, you're not going to be super knowledgeable, and that's okay. That's not a knock at you at all. There is enough deals and meat out there for everyone to eat. But what I encourage you to do is to look for a secondary market versus going into the main markets, right? So what is a secondary market? A secondary market is a market that is a tier under the premium market or metro in the area, right? So, I'm in Texas. I would say DFW, Dallas Fort Worth, is probably like the creme de la creme. But then we have Houston, San Antonio, Austin, Corpus, Lubbock, the Valley, so McAllen, Edinburgh, those could all be considered secondary markets, right? So when you head over to Zillow, what we're doing right now is we just want to get an idea of what activity is happening in the realm of lot sales and new construction. So I'm going to go here and show you all quickly how to assess or analyze a market. Now, I'm going to use Dallas as an example, but again, Dallas is not the secondary market. It is the creme de la creme, but you can rinse and repeat this process wherever you are. Okay, so we're going to go sold data first. Going to hit apply. Price, bed and baths, we're going to keep all that stuff the same. We're going to go down though to houses first, okay? And then the only other filter I'm going to change is going to be year built 2021, okay? The reason I'm going back, I want to take this off to let's go back to, let's take this off to no min, no max. Let's go up to 2023. Let's get some more recent data, right? So what we're looking for is new construction activity in the area. As you can see, Dallas is pumping. There are a lot of new development projects going on across the metro. It's pretty even too. I mean, as you can see, these yellow dots represent properties that are sold that have been developed. If you go in and add townhomes and multifamily, apartments, manufactured, you're going to get even more action. But for this exercise, we're going to keep it at houses. But as you zoom out, you're going to see more dots, okay? More dots. So again, these dots represent activity. These dots represent new construction. So as you can see, this DFW North Texas area is huge. But Austin, San Antonio, I'm surprised Houston's not showing up something. We probably have to zoom in more. Yeah, all right. So as you can see, there's some action in Houston too. So you can sort of take your pick now and say, okay, these are my secondary markets. These are the markets that have some action. Where I wouldn't be up in here in Nacogdoches, Lufkin, Dibble. I wouldn't be over here in Brownwood, Coleman, unless, of course, a builder that you connect with, which we'll talk about a little bit later, says, hey, we're looking to expand here. We're building a pipeline. As the land is grabbed, eventually these builders and residents are going to start moving out. But right now, there's still action in the main cities of Texas, at least. You don't ever want to be first in an area because you don't have proof of concept or comps to support your properties. You're going to see a lot of people that get deals under contract in places where there are no development projects going on around, and it's really hard for them to sell the deal. And all that does is add a lot of stress. Remember, these are legally binding agreements that you're getting in. So you want to make sure that you are mitigating your risk by getting properties under contract in areas that make sense and in areas that have proof of concept and demand already there. So now let's go back into Dallas, right? So now you're like, okay, Reggie, I know that my market, I want to be in, Dallas, it's popping there. Okay, cool. But like, how do I know what kind of lots to target? Well, say less. Thanks for asking. Let's go back into our filters, and let's go lots, apply, and let's take off the year, and let's hit apply. So now you're going to get data around the sold lots and what's kind of happening. So you're going to see a difference between infill lots, which are lots in neighborhoods that are build ready for the most part, in between houses. They usually have utilities set up. And then there's raw land, which is like acres. And that's a whole nother beast. We're not fooling with that right now. The only thing we're fooling with, y'all, is infill lots. So how do you identify an infill lot? Again, it should have a house, a couple houses around it. Maybe it had a house on it before. This is an infill lot. You can tell. Google Street View is tripping. It's not loading. There we go. You'll see, boom, that's an infill. Why? Because it's in a neighborhood. There are houses around it. Okay, so now you know, all right, cool. This lot, for the most part, should be residential. Something that would be a little concerning would be there's some commercial properties next to it. And so we're going to check the zoning and make sure that these things can be built on. But for the most part, okay, cool. Like these are lots. These are infills. This is an infill lot right here. Again, it's sandwiched in between two houses. Why are these good, y'all? Because again, I can come right here and drop a new construction, new build right here in the middle. It probably has utilities because these houses are connected, should be ready to go. Adding these new homes to the area, all it does is just raises the value of the surrounding homes, and it helps everybody's property appreciate in value because new construction is happening. You're going to find a number of different types of builders. Some are going to be for luxury builds. Some are going to be all about gentrification. But there are a lot of builders out there that are trying to create affordable housing, and they're creating amazing modern homes. Shout out to Chris Clark, Ronell, the Gentleman Builder. All of these guys are building amazing homes. Luis with Hack Inc., they're building amazing homes, creating amazing opportunities in DFW for new homeowners out there getting the most. So you really are, helping revive the community when you're doing this type of work too. You're really adding value to your local community by flipping these lots and keeping inventory moving. So as you hop into Zillow, though, I want to show you some other free game. Texas, again, property owners, the sales and stuff, that stuff is not public record, at least the sale amount. So if you don't have access to the multiple listing system or good relationships with real estate agents, it's hard to get your numbers right to know what the market is buying for. So let's assume, though, that we don't have a real estate agent, we don't have MLS, all we have is Zillow. I'm going to show you how to kind of gauge and get an idea of what the market is doing. So I'm here on Zillow. When you scroll up, you're going to get the previous real estate agent's info, the listing agent. This person, I'd be hitting them up. Hey, I'm a new investor in the market. I'm looking for lots. Let me know if you have anything available. I would also be making friends with this agent to see if they would give me MLS access or run comps for me, list my properties for me, help me write my contracts. You get it, right? Like they have a lot of game, a lot of resources for you. As you scroll down, though, you're going to see here the price history. So you're going to see the tax assessed value versus what it was listed for and what it was contracted under. So let me show you how to read this. So in April, this was listed for sale, okay, on market, not an off-market deal. An off-market deal is when it's not listed and it's just flipped between broker and buyer or seller and buyer, right? Well, this was listed on market, but again, these are comps that you can use to start understanding how to price your land that you're targeting. So this was listed for sale at 70,000. Okay, it went under contract April 4th, the next day. So that shows you the demand is hot for 70,000. Had some contingencies. It was pending sale at 70,000 on the 9th and sold. Okay, let's just say that you were able to go to the property owner of 3015 South Denley Street and say, hey, my name is Reggie. I'm interested in your property. I'd love to discuss an offer. And you're able to negotiate with that property owner a price of $50,000, okay? And then you go to a builder and say, hey, I've got this lot. I know that lots around it are selling at around 70,000. I'd like to sell you one in the area, same size, for 68,000. Can you close in 3-4 weeks? Sure. Okay. Great. What's your email? Let me send you over the assignment contract, and it's off to the races. You've just netted, before various fees, an assignment fee of 18,000. Because again, you got it under contract at 50,000. You're flipping that contract to your builder at 68,000. And that happens like crazy. But you have to understand what the market value is, what the demand is. You have to be in a good market. There has to be supporting data. That's why it's important to know how to use the free tools that are out there. So another tool I want to show you, though, that's going to help you in this journey is going to be a tool called Land Glide. Land Glide is worth the price of admission. It's $9.99 a month, but it is worth it, and I'll show you why once it loads. I'm going to go over here first, though, and get this address. Oh, let me go to Land Glide. So I apologize. Let's go Land Glide. We got it open here. All right. So Land Glide, what it does is it is going to show you property records also, but it's going to show you something a little bit different. It's going to show you who the owner is. It's going to show you some of the same data of Zillow, but it's going to show you the owner. It's going to show you the acreage. It's going to show you an estimate of the property lines. You're going to get to see the shape of it. You're also going to be able to play with different views. So like, let's say you want to get to satellite view. Boom. Okay, cool. One thing that you want to keep in mind when you're looking for land to flip, especially lots, is can I drive up to it, right? Like, can I get to it? A lot of people are getting land that's landlocked, which is land that you cannot get to. You don't want to mess with that beginning. There are some plays for landlocked land, but starting off, it takes a special person to really understand how to work that land and how easements work and all of that. So again, Land Glide is cool because it's going to show you, okay, all right, this has some roads. I can get to this house. Cool. I can do something with it. I'm going to go back to the map look, though, and let's move this out of the way because it's all up in the way. I apologize, y'all, for this. I'm using Loom. Shout out to Loom. Loom has been great for me. So I had a lot of this data too you're going to use with your contracts, like the legal description, owner name. You're going to need that stuff. You even get like their mailing address. So if you wanted to send them like a letter, a postcard, an offer in the mail, you got a lot of free data right here. Again, it's all about free, discounted, low price. How can I get stuff going? County Link is awesome because it's going to connect to the county, and you're going to be able to see things like what it may be zoned for, legal descriptions, tax assessed values, owners. You're going to get to see that this is single family, 7,500 square feet, meaning this is zoned for 7,500 square feet, builds on it. You're going to get to see that this is also what tax jurisdiction it's in, the whole nine. Again, this is data that you will need as you get, going, as you start writing up your offers, as you start doing your due diligence and your research and connecting with your county. So I encourage you to play with this tool too. So now we have figured out our market. We have looked at some comps. We're like, okay, I kind of get an idea of what stuff is selling for. Now what do I do? Okay. Now you're going to head over to a tool called PropWire. There are other tools out there, y'all, that pull property records. PropWire is free. You can set up a free account. I'm not sponsored or anything by PropWire, but I will tell you that PropWire will work for you and help you find leads for free and will help you get started. So now we're in PropWire and we want to find some lots, right? We've got some data. We know that homes are being built on 5,000 square feet lots and up. So I'm going to show you all how to pull your first list. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put your zip code, your city, or your state, okay? And then you're going to go over to property type. We're going to hit land, okay? And then we're going to start playing with some filters, okay? All right. So a couple of things that I like to look at. So property filters first. I'm going to put 5,000 square feet. Let's zero in 5,000 to 7,500 square feet, okay? Obviously, these are lots. This is land, so there's no buildings or anything like that. Now you want to start looking for different types of motivation, etc. Years of ownership is really good. Also, owner type, individual, business, bank, or trust. I'm not going to deal with those right now. You can in the future, but for now, let's just keep it clean and let's just see what pops up with these few filters in. Obviously, with the least amount of filters, the more leads are going to pop up. So this isn't a crazy list. You've got about 203 contacts, but still a lot. But you want to figure out, okay, what kind of motivation do these people have? You don't really know because it's a pretty general list. So let's go in and let's make some more filters happen. So let's say we want to only target leads or lots that have owners that are out of state. Why is this good? Out of state owners, they're managing the property from afar. They're having to deal with property taxes. Could be a headache, could be some motivation there, right? So you see how that list went from 200 to 6. Now you've got just a few leads. You can always take that filter off to open it up. But I also like to look at how many properties they own, right? So let's say they own 2. All right, 167, right? So now you've got some folks that maybe own some duplicate lots. Just a side note, cheat code, builders typically like to buy in packages. So 2, 3, 4 lots, right? So now you've got your first list. I've got my zip code. I've got some motivation markers here, right? So this is off market, absentee owner. It's got a lot of equity in it. So there's that's a lot of motivation right there. And so let's make a list. So I'm going to select all. I'm going to pop here. I'm going to save the list. 75203 demo. Save. Okay. Once it saves it, you're going to hit view my list. And now you're going to go to the list. And you're going to download the list. Okay. So let's get everything. Let's get as much data as we can because data helps us make more informed decisions. It's tied to your emails. You're going to get emails and alerts when your lists are ready. Again, your list is ready to go. Download your list, open up your list, and let me show you what the list has. Okay, so you've got your list here. So these are first few columns. These are going to be the site addresses. So again, where the addresses of the subject properties are. Square footage is another sign that I like to look at. I like to see what kind of size I'm working with. You've got APN numbers, so you can use this to pull up, on Google Earth, things of that nature. And then you've got owner names. So as you can see, it's not perfect. It did pull up a city of Dallas, a couple of them, but for the most part, these are individual owners. And you get to see their names, who they are. You get to see what their mailing address is. Again, if you want to do send a letter, do some door knocking after you build some rapport, whatever. Again, door knocking, be safe. I encourage you to build rapport on the phone first. Always take a friend with you, whatever. Meet in a public place, grab coffee. Don't rush the process of building rapport with the seller because this is a big deal. Like you're transacting tens of thousands of dollars. So take your time, build rapport, get to know them, get to meet them. You get to see how long they've owned the property. Lots and lots and lots of data, right? Lots of data. You're going to use this information to do what's called a skip trace. And skip tracing is the art of finding the property owner's information so that you can get in contact with them, primarily their phone number or their email. Phone is always going to be so much better than email because people have a lot of emails, but definitely want to get that phone number. And you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do with that number? You're going to call them. You're going to get on the phone. You're going to call that property owner. You're going to talk to them. And you're going to express your interest in purchasing their land. That's why it's important first to find people that you think may have a little motivation. Some other things you can look for are like, do they owe back taxes? Did they just recently inherit the land? There's a lot of different motivations you can look for that you can use at your disposal when you call. We're not going to practice cold calling on this video, but if it's something you need or you'd like to kind of walk through, I've got 15 years of professional enterprise sales experience. I've impacted and influenced over $500 million in revenue. So I love selling things. If you think it would add value, just comment below. Hey, put up a video on cold calling and scripts, and I'll put some stuff together and give you some free game. So you've got your list, you've got your market. Now it's like, how do I skip trace them? So penny skips is a cool tool that you can use to start skip tracing. It is one of the most affordable skip tracing tools out there. Check out the pricing. So the copper plan is free. You're probably only going to need the copper plan to get started, okay? The discounts aren't so different unless you start skip tracing like hundreds of thousands of numbers at one time beforehand, right? So like at one time. So like right now we're going to be sniping specific deals and lots and things of that nature off of our list and see which ones make sense. So I wouldn't recommend importing that whole list. I'm going to show you why at one time and trying to skip trace it. There's still a little bit more due diligence we're going to do. But you can see on this copper plan, it's free to have a membership, to have access. Then as you skip trace your records, it's going to cost you a nickel to get some phone numbers, a nickel. So yeah, you're going to need a little bit of money, but a nickel. You can find a nickel on the couch. Right? And that's what you're going to use to get these numbers, these phone numbers. But before you do that, I'm going to going to show you why you don't want to start off buying a bunch of lists, skip tracing a bunch of contacts, because we don't know the condition of these lots. We don't know if these are truly infill lots. But let me show you how you can check it out. Let's use Google Earth for this one. All right, Google Earth. I like Google Earth. You can do this in Zillow too, but I like Google Earth because it kind of gives you like a free driving for dollars vibe. And so you can sort of see what the neighborhoods look like. But let's put that address in here. All right, so pulling up the address. It's going to fly to the crib. Okay, cool. All right, so check this out. You know it's a lot, right? Like, it's got some roads. Cool. Put in the comments, though. I just want to see if you were listening or if you're kind of gauging, why might this be risky? Why might this be risky for a builder? If you said you don't see any houses around it, you're cooking. Also, there's a railroad right there. I'm not saying that that's going to negate property owners, because a lot of people want to be in the city from building. This is actually a popping area, but I don't know if I want to buy a house right in front of a railroad, kind of by itself. I don't know if I'm a builder, if I want to build a house right here in this area, because I don't have anything around me that says like new development in this pocket, right? In this pocket. Now, if I'm a developer and I could get this whole block, maybe. If I get all this, maybe. But it's not a terrible lot because, again, this zip code, I know from my market research that it's popping. So you do with it as you please. Now let's go into Zillow, though, and let's figure out what kind of new construction is going on around this lot. It looks like at some time there was a house by this too. Okay, here's another cheat code. Remember what I said about you get all these lots, right? And you can go over to, I'll show you how to go into Land Glide again and see who owns these lots. You can say, okay, look, I want to call all these property owners and pull together basically a package deal. Maybe there's multiple property owners here, whatever. It's great. That's awesome, because now you're taking a developer a package of lots. A lot of them need inventory for the next year. You know, it could be good for them. But let's see what the demand around new construction in the area looks like. So I'm on sold, home type. I'm going to go over here to houses, apply. I'm going to put my filter of 2023 on, apply, boom. Okay, remember what I told you. Comps, I like to keep my comps. If I see comps within a mile, I like that. And I always look for areas where there's 5 or more, okay? And then these comps need to be recent. See, these comps are good because they're within the last 90 days, but they're about 2 miles out. So let's zoom out a little bit and let's see. Okay, so now you're crossing a major road. Why that's difficult is like a major freeway or road could dictate like basically the cut from like a nice affluent area. And that is very frequent in Dallas. You know, you can drive down one street, be in the cut, and then boom, you're in $1 million neighborhood. And all of that dictates like property values and things of that nature. But again, you get to see this is probably not a deal I want to undertake on my first one. Why? Because again, you don't have a lot of supporting comps in the area close to it. It's risky, but within 2 miles, and if you're selling this to your builder, look, 2 miles away, they're selling homes that are going for $500,000, right? So again, It's all about educating yourself and educating your builders, and they're going to know. They're going to be able to educate you too on this game. So let's go back to our list though, and let's look at, I'll put this in yellow because it's a maybe. Let's go to this one. 611 Moore Street. Let's see what it's talking about. Okay. All right. Assessed value 70,000. Let's shoot it over in Google Earth first. And let's see what Google Earth says about it. All right. Southmore Street. Cool. All right. Got some houses. Got some road access. Still bottom railroad, but you know, it does have road access. It's kind of in like a little neighborhood. Let's see what's popping. Some other things I'm going to look at too is like, as we zoom in, let's see if I can move this. Okay, let's take this in Land Glide real quick. Let's pop this in Land Glide too. Okay, so you get to see the lot shape. It's a little oddly shaped, but you still get that square. You kind of get that rectangle. You'll learn a little bit more about like setbacks and things of that nature at a later time. Also though, check this out. Just in looking though, all right, I see 3 more lots owned by the same person, right? If I'm watching this video, I'm jumping over here and looking at these 3 lots and seeing, do they have houses on them? Can I get that package? But again, checking it out. All right, cool. It looks decent. Let's go back to Zillow and let's see what the activity looks like. It's still not really popping right here. Why? Because these homes sold, it's only 3 that sold, but within a mile though, okay, you're getting some data. All right, so within a mile, these homes are selling and they're building a wide range of home types and sizes. And so I'm going to start looking at these and let's get an idea of what the home value is. And I'm telling you, in my experience, and some others may be different, the Zestimate is pretty close to what the sale price is. Zillow does a good job of like really tying in their algorithms and making sure that stuff is pretty close to what it was sold for. This one was listed at 409, probably sold close to that number, a little bit less or a little bit more depending on demand at the time. But nonetheless, like again, you've got an idea of what this home could sell for. A cool, easy way to price it is builders typically pay between 10 to 20% of new construction costs, right? So let's pull up our calculator. So let's just say for easy math, this home sold at 400,000. Okay. Times 0.1 is 40,000, right? So 40,000 is where I probably would try to get this lot on the contract. 40,000 or less, but I could probably go up to, let's see. Okay. So 80,000 is roughly, and again, that's a rough estimate of what my potential maximum sale price could be for this lot. Okay, that's a great number. Now, again, builders typically pay like all the closing costs, and again, that's for another video. But that 80,000 is like out the door what that builder would pay for that lot. Some things that you want to keep into consideration, and I'll put out a video around due diligence at a later time, is like cost to bring utilities, cost to clear and prep the land, cost to order surveys. All of these things, variables, play into your sale value. So don't get greedy with these lots. Understand that everyone in the equation should feel like they got a good deal. The seller should feel like they got a good deal. The builder should feel like they got a good deal. obviously you should feel like you got a good deal, but you should be the lowest on the totem pole. In my experience, the number that I like to stay at is between 15 and 17%. Meaning, if you, I'm telling you, you get that lot on the contract and you market that out to builders at 60,000 and you got it under contract, let's say at 40 or 45, that's a great payday. Even if you got it at 50, that's a great payday. You do that 2, 3, 4 times a month, you're making some money. So we've went through a lot in this video, just in the beginning stages, right? Some other things, and I'm going to kind of breeze through these things, are, you're going to need a phone to call people. Just use your cell phone to start. As you get savvy, as you get good, we can look at investing in multi-line dialers, maybe bringing on a virtual assistant, things of that nature. Be careful with texting. Texting, there are a lot of regulations around texting. I would say call first, introduce yourself, build some rapport, get their consent before you just start texting them, and always communicate via email when you get to the offer stage and you start writing up offers and contracts. Again, if you need help writing up a contract, you've got real estate agents that can help you. Now, keep in mind, they're going to want a fee or some commission. You can negotiate that. I can put up a video around contracts and offers if that's something that you think would add value. But I hope that this video gave you a high level understanding of how to take action and get started. The next piece of this pie, I've got some videos that I'm going to link around finding your buyers and your builders. That's important before you start locking things up on the contract. You can sell deals on Facebook all day, but I've found that it is always best to have your builder's list built out before you get deals under contract. That's going to make assigning the deal a lot easier, and we'll go through and put out some more content around builders and doing all of that good stuff. But I hope this video added value to you. Please like, subscribe to the page. We're going to put out more content. Thank you so much. God bless you. Happy hunting. It's hunting season. Let's get these deals. Let's share knowledge, and let's make it happen. Peace.